The last thing Andrew Dawson ever posted online was not a goodbye, it was a warning. And to understand that warning, you have to go back to the beginning, back to when he was just a regular guy living a quiet, normal life, like a lot of us. Andrew spent his days working, coming home, and occasionally scrolling through his phone. His town was ordinary, nestled near a range of unremarkable mountains. But one evening, looking out his window, he saw something that didn't belong. On the peak of a distant mountain, a shape stood silhouetted against the sky. It was colossal, unnaturally symmetrical, and completely still. It wasn't a tower. It wasn't a natural rock formation. It was just there. Intrigued, he did what anyone would do in 2022. He pulled out his phone, zoomed in, and started filming. He posted the video online, asking a simple question. What is this? At first, the internet treated it as a curiosity. People made jokes. They offered explanations: a strange cloud, a weather balloon, a glitch in his camera. Andrew kept filming, day after day. The shape never moved. It was there when he woke up, and it was there when the sun went down. But then, a subtle, creeping dread began to set in. In his videos, he started noticing something unsettling. The shape, impossibly, seemed to be getting bigger, not by much, just a fraction. It was as if, inch by inch, it was growing or getting closer. The tone of his posts started to shift. The playful curiosity was replaced by a nervous obsession. He would film the mountain for hours, documenting every subtle change in the light, every passing cloud. Convinced that something was happening, his online followers were divided. Some were hooked, forming a community of digital detectives trying to solve the mystery of the giant on the mountain. Others grew skeptical, accusing him of faking it for attention. But Andrew insisted it was real, and that's when his quiet life began to unravel. The strange event started small. A video he posted, one that showed the shape in particularly clear detail, would suddenly vanish from his feed. He'd re-upload it, only for it to be taken down again, with no explanation, no copyright strike, nothing. Then his technology began to act up. His phone would mysteriously power off. Drones he tried to fly towards the mountain would lose their signal and crash almost immediately after takeoff, as if hitting an invisible wall. The paranoia began to take root. He started noticing things in his daily life. An unmarked black car, always parked a few streets away from his house. Sometimes, he'd see it parked near his workplace. When he tried to approach it or film it, it would quietly drive away. He felt like he was being watched. The feeling was constant, a heavy weight on his shoulders that he couldn't shake. He started posting more frequently, his messages becoming more frantic, more desperate. He wasn't just documenting the thing on the mountain anymore. He was documenting his own fear. His followers noticed a change in him, too. In his early videos, he was relaxed, smiling. Now, his face was gaunt, his eyes wide and frightened. He looked thinner, haunted. He spoke in hushed tones, as if afraid of being overheard even in his own home. In one chilling late-night clip, filmed in a darkened room with only the glow of his phone illuminating his face, he whispered, "I've been looking at it so long. I don't think it's a mountain anymore." The sentence hung in the air, a terrifying implication of what he thought he was truly seeing. The jokes online stopped. The skepticism turned into genuine concern. His posts were no longer about a strange shape. They were a chronicle of a man's descent into psychological terror. He mentioned being stopped by an unnamed person, someone who told him he was in over his head and that for his own safety, he needed to stop looking. But he couldn't. It was like he was caught in the gravitational pull of the mystery. Unable to break free, he had to know what it was. Then came the final video. It was uploaded late one night, filmed from inside his car. The footage was shaky, the only light coming from the dashboard. Andrew's voice trembled, cracking with fear. He said he was going to the mountain. He had to see it for himself, up close. He explained that someone had told him to drop it, to pretend he never saw anything. He panned the camera to the dark horizon, towards the mountain range. "They told me to stop looking," he stammered, his breath catching in his throat. "They said it was for my own good." He paused, his voice dropping to a near-inaudible whisper, because it moved. Suddenly, the camera jerked violently. There was a muffled sound, a sharp intake of breath. Then, the screen went black. The video ended. And then there was only silence. For days, the internet waited. His followers refreshed his pages, hoping for an update, an explanation, anything. But nothing came. Then, one by one, his online presence began to disappear. His social media accounts were deactivated. His videos were scrubbed from platforms, becoming impossible to search for. It was as if Andrew Dawson was being digitally erased from existence. The man who saw something impossible had himself become impossible to find. His story became a ghost story, an urban legend whispered in the dark corners of the internet. Most of his footage was lost forever, surviving only in re-uploads and reaction videos from others. But for a brief moment, months after his disappearance, his very last video, the one from the car, resurfaced. It was grainy, low quality, but it was there. And those who watched it closely noticed one final, terrifying detail that had been missed before. In the final seconds of the video, just before the camera jerked and the screen went black, the shot of the horizon was just clear enough to see. And on the distant mountain range, where the giant had stood for weeks, there was nothing. The peak was empty. The mountain was gone. The story of Andrew Dawson leaves us with a chilling thought. Some mysteries are solved, some fade away over time, but others move. If this story gave you chills, like, share, and follow Hollow Voice for more internet mysteries.